Welcome to Welcome with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 3. For ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envy, strife, and divisions, are yet not carnal, and walk as men. And I'm going to repeat that. For ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying, and strife, and divisions, are ye not carnal, and walk as men? Our body is just a vessel that holds our soul. Many people like to say you have a soul, which is totally incorrect. We are souls. We don't have a soul. We are a soul that possess this vessel, this earth-bound vessel. It is flesh and bones. The flesh and bones will die. It is our soul that continues on once this vessel is killed. God speaks to people and says, do not fear the word. Do not fear nothing. Do not even fear the enemy. It says, do not fear the things that can kill the flesh, but fear the one that can make the soul live on or die. And that's not, word for word. That was just me paraphrasing. Just so you know, sorry. When we walk upon this earth, God knows that we are sinners because we are flesh. We are conceived of sin. We are born in sin. We are sinners. But he also says that when we come to Christ, we are to be Christ-like, to walk as Christ did. We all see Jesus as this perfect being, which he is. He created no sin. He did no sin. He has no sin in him. He has no evilness in him. He was the only one that was righteous and holy. In fact, he's the only one that was created and that was perfect enough for a sacrifice. He's also the only one worthy enough to open the scroll of 7 seals. We are to be Christ-like, Jesus says. God tells us that. Be holy, for I am holy. Be righteous, for I am righteous. And we all think, because we're using our own mind and our own understanding and how we was taught that we are sinners, that this is a near impossible task. First of all, there's nothing impossible with God. As long as we have God, we can do any and everything. He says we can even move mountains. So we can do anything. And that includes not live a life of sin. That means we can also what? Sin no more. Many people, for this very reason, think it's impossible to live up to the commandments, to obey all the laws, and to do what God and Jesus asked us to do. Well, how can we? We're going to be sins. It says that we're always going to sin. No, it didn't say we're always going to sin. It says we are sinners, created in sin, born of sin. But many times in the scriptures, Jesus and God both say to us, sin, go and sin no more. No more. It's not impossible for you to live a life where you don't sin. We can do it. God has faith in us. Jesus has faith in us. If they didn't, it wouldn't be mentioned, hey, sin no more. So many people fall away thinking it's impossible. But there's a lot of things that people do and say, oh, there's no way I would ever do that. I'll never act like that. I couldn't do that. I'm my own person. I'm going to live my own life, until they fall in love. Next thing they know, they're swimming across to the ends of the earth for that person. They're doing this and they're doing that. They're doing the very things that they claim and told everybody, spoke aloud, said, I will never do that. You couldn't find me doing that. Especially when they're talking and looking at other couples together and stuff. Oh, we'll never get me doing that. Turns out when as soon as that love bug hits them, they're doing the very same thing. When we come to Christ, when we come to walk closer, our love grows so stronger that it is nothing to us to obey his commandments. We don't count the over 600 and something laws. We don't even see that. In fact, all those laws are summed down to the 10 commandments. All the 10 commandments are summed up to the 2 things that Jesus asked us to do. Love God with all your might, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being, with all your strength. And do not worship any other gods. Secondly, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. To obey all those 2 is to obey everything that God and Jesus ever said. You don't have to worry about memorizing what's this and what's that. You just got to obey those ones. And then all in all, you obey everything. But see, when we love God so much, it is a pleasure. It is an honor to do those things. In fact, all those things of the world and those he asks us not to do is the very things that we don't want to do, because we don't want to do them. We don't want to offend God. We don't want to break his heart. We don't want him upset. No, we want to respect him. We want to praise him. We want to obey him. Why? Because he is worthy of it. He deserves it. Each and every day he does so much more for us. See, there's too many people walking around in their flesh. The carnalness of themselves. That they can't get outside of their own mind, their own understanding, their fleshly way of thinking. Their stubbornness, their pride. These are all things that belong to the flesh of this world. Feelings. Arrogance. Why do I have to sacrifice my life? I didn't ask to be created. Why do I have to obey this man for what? Just because he created me? I don't even believe that he created me. You know, the list can go on of the things that people say to be so cruel. That's because they don't understand. They're thinking with their flesh. They're leaning on their own understanding. The knowledge, God's wisdom has not hit them, nor has God's love. So until they are hit, they're not going to understand. They're not going to want to. So it's very important that we make sure that we spread God's love to others so they can experience that love. And just like most people, when they get to know each other, that love just sneaks upon them. And they get to experience God's love. As people who already know God's love and is on this walk, the more we walk closer to God, the more we start dying to ourselves, denying our flesh, killing our flesh, walking in our spirit, our soul, letting go of the things of this world and of ourselves, because the more closer we get to God, we realize it's not about us. It's always about God. This is his world. This is his life we're living. Even though he has all the power, controls everything, he still shares his power with us by giving us freedom. He even gives us his power to overcome ourselves and to overcome the enemy. He's a gracious, giving God. And every day he sacrifices for us. Not just the one big time we gave this ultimate sacrifice for Jesus, who died for us. No, every day he sacrifices for us. Every day he pours out his love. Every day he pours out his grace, his mercy upon us, his patience and tolerance of us. We didn't make ourselves. We didn't make each other. We didn't give ourselves lives. And no, we may not have asked to been born. But that's because we wasn't made for ourselves. We was made for him. See, he can live on without us. And he continue. He has been before we was born and will be after. For he's a living God that cannot die. Just as our flesh can die, our soul can die as well. God has that power. But he gives us freedom. He doesn't hold that power above us. He doesn't make us puppets. He doesn't mind control us, which he has the ability to do so. No, he allows us to have the freedom to choose. He wants you to come to him because you want to, because you love him. He doesn't want nothing fake. He doesn't want nothing controlled. He's a gentleman. He respects your decisions. He respects your choices. He respects your freedom. Each day we have to wake up and we have to make the choice. Not just one time. So I know who Jesus is. I love him and I put him into my heart. I accept him. And that's all you got to do. And now you're good. You're golden. No. The scriptures tell us that each and every day we are to pick up our cross and choose him. Each and every day. When we wake up, we're going to choose, are we going to serve God or are we going to serve ourselves in the world? Because you can't serve both. And just because you made that choice today doesn't mean that you're going to make that choice tomorrow. Each day is a new day. Each day is a new beginning. And each day you got to make that choice. Your flesh or your spirit. God or the world. Most people think, you know, it's all about me, me, me. It's never about you. It's always going to be about God. Their life, everything all has to do with God, because nothing is done unless God allows it. Nothing is said unless God deems it so. And even though nothing is done unless God allows it, he still gives you the freedom to choose how you want to be, how you want to act. And just remember though, your freedom, your choice, your decisions, your actions has consequences. And because of those actions and equals consequences, there's certain things in this world that's going to be like evilness, suffering. See, here's the thing. If we was all children of God and did what God wanted us to do, we wouldn't even be in this world. We would all be in heaven. There would be no evilness and there would be no sin. But because he allows us to live freely and to make our choices, that's the reason why such evilness exists in the world. Because not all children of this world are children of God. There is evil in this world. So each day we got to make the choice. Are we on the good team or are we on the bad team? Because only one team's going to win. And that is God. God and all of his children is going to see the victory.